Hello violin players, welcome to Pro-Am Strings. I'm Henriette and this is lesson 15 in the All for Strings Violin for Beginners course. And in this lesson today we're learning how to play the second finger on the D string and the second finger on the A string. And I'm hoping that by the end of this lesson you'll feel comfortable playing the second fingers on D and A with the correct technique, and also that you feel comfortable naming the notes that you play with the second finger. So here we go. Let's go ahead and let's get started. And we're going to get started by getting our violin up in its proper position on your shoulder. So take your time to sort all of that out. Now slide your left hand back so that your finger line is level with the E string. Can you now check over your thumb and see that it's just peeking over the edge here? And now I want you to push that wrist out. So instead of playing like this, you want to make sure that today is the day when your wrist is the straightest ever. Now let's also find your correct bow hold, and I'll give you a moment just to check everything over. Check that your little finger is on the side edge. Can you check also that your thumb is bent underneath the bow? Wonderful. And now let's play an open A string. And we'll play that open A string twice with long bows. Here we go. A. Now stop the bow. Let's place your first finger on the A string. Wow. And now let's place your second finger a space away from your first finger. Shall we do that again? We're starting on the open A string, so lift your fingers off. Here we go. A. Stop the bow. Now try to imagine in your head what this first finger is going to sound like. Pa. And try to imagine what the second finger is going to sound like. Pa. That's amazing, really good. Now let's think about the letter names of the notes now. You and I know that the A, the open A string, is called A, isn't it? Now notes go like the alphabet, so one finger on A is called B, and two fingers on A is called C, but this is a very special kind of C. We call it C sharp, and it's written C hashtag. So I'll explain to you at a later stage why that is a C sharp, but for now you just want to remember, if you can, A, B, C sharp. Let's have a look now at exercise 66 in your book. You can find exercise 66 on page 24. And when you have a look through the notes, you can see exactly what we've played. A, B, B, which you play with the first finger, and then C sharp, which you play with the second finger. So let's see if we can play this now. The only difference is now that when you play crotchet notes or quarters, and you can find them in the first half of this piece, you play these with a half bow. So you go up to the middle of your bow. Maybe you've still got a little marker in the middle, and then you go back. And towards the end of exercise 66, we're coming across half notes or minims, and you play those with a whole bow. So let's get our hands in the right position. Your left hand, your left wrist, your bow hold, and I'll count us in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whole bows now. convinced by now that I'm expecting you to find this not as challenging as some other things that you've done perhaps previously. So well done for sticking with this course thus far, and you will find that the hardest part is actually getting started, but now that you've got started, it's perhaps slightly less challenging. Now once you play the second finger on the A string properly, it's not a big step going to the second finger on the D string. So let's start this second finger on the D string exactly the same way as we've done. So we're playing D, D, 1, 1, 2, 2. Use long bows again so that you can hear very clearly the sound of your notes. Starting on the open D string, twice this note, and now let's take away your fingers. Amazing. And you've noticed how I sang the notes in my head, or I sang them out loud, but you can do that as well, or sing them in your head before you place your next finger, so you know already what this note is going to sound like. Now the notes on the D string are called D for the open string, E is the letter after D in the alphabet, E is the first finger on the D string, and F sharp, again we've got this hashtag sharp, on the second finger, so D, E, F sharp. Now let's have a look at exercise 67 in your book. And in exercise 67 we're playing on the D string first, and then we're going to the A string and play our fingers there. Then D again, then A again, and then we'll finish on the D string. But this time we're not playing repeated notes. So watch out when you play that you read the correct notes. So let's check over our left hand, check over your finger line, your thumb, your wrist, and I'll count us in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long bows. Half bows now. Long bows. If you manage that in one go, well done, super playing. You've noticed when you get the crotchet or the quarter note rests, you just leave your bow to rest on the string, because the golden rule in violin playing, as we've said, is to always, once you've started a piece of music, leave your bow on the string. Try not to lift it off the string in the middle of your piece. So well done if you've managed that already. We're going to have a look at exercise 68 next, and yay, this is a duet again. You're playing the top part, and I'm going to first play the top part with you, and then afterwards I'll play you the lower part together as well. So when you play exercise 68, you are playing on the A string, so bear that in mind. You play A's, B's and C sharps. I'll count us in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's lift up your bow and Now there are a few things that you will need to check over so that you play with the correct technique. Take a look at the penultimate bar, and the penultimate bar you have A, 2, 1, 1. Now when you place the second finger there, can you check for me that your first finger is coming down at the same time, so you get this? And that is correct with finger 1 and 2 down on the string, but be careful that you don't go like this with this first finger up in the air. So both fingers come down together. That is one thing that I want you to think about so that you play with the correct technique. And we're developing the technique all the time, so this is one aspect of it, leaving your fingers down. Another thing that I want you to check over is whenever you play quarter notes or crotchets, to use the half bow. And whenever you play half notes or minims, you use the whole bow and you stretch your bow arm forward so you get a straight bow on those long notes. We've talked about this many times before, and you will hear me say this frequently in future as well, because that is ever so important in your violin playing. So if I play from the beginning, I'm going to make an extra effort here to stretch my bow arm forward. Can you see? So my bow is straight. So I don't want to risk ending up here, you see? So my bow arm is forward and then I'm carrying on. Once you've got all that, we can play this as a duet. So I'll count us in for 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. That was super playing, and I'm hoping that you have enjoyed playing a duet there. Super learning today, and you know now what the letter names of the notes are on the A string, A, B, C sharp, and what the letter names are on the D string, D, E, F sharp. If you've enjoyed this lesson, why not write about how you got on with your playing in the comment section down below this video. It's nice for other people to hear how other people are getting on with this course as well. It's just creating that sense of community, and that is where everyone benefits. If you want to become part of Henriette's Violin Club, check out my membership video on this channel too. I'll put the link in the description below so you can find out all about the memberships and perhaps become even more a part of our community. For now, I wish you good luck with your practice, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Goodbye.